Let's talk propaganda. Propaganda is a message with a clear agenda and a clear objective. Information that is especially of a biased and exaggerated and particularly misleading nature that's used to promote a political point or cause. So there's a reasoning for the image for as people view them and as they listen or examine them. Now, remember, this is often a time where you're trying to inundate a population with a particular type of messaging where there were no home TVs. Oftentimes, there were very few radios. And so, newspapers, word of mouth, were often still the primary means to get messages across. And particularly with the literacy rates being as they were at the time, it's a very effective way to get a message across to a large group of people. Okay. So, in order to create propaganda and the reason why they would, there's a series of objectives that they're trying to accomplish. One is they're trying to finance something, a war, a type of government program. Look, they want your resources to help them to achieve whatever task they're up to. Okay. Secondly, especially when it comes to nation states, they're trying to generate a sense of unity, that all in as one people. Okay. Thirdly, they're trying to recruit volunteers, oftentimes as a means of a labor tax, but mostly is to recruit soldiers to be able to fight and perhaps even give up of their lives for a particular cause. Thirdly, okay, it's important in many authoritarian states to create a cult of personality surrounding the key individual, a dictator, a ruler, a particular unique group, such that they can do absolutely no wrong. They can be as hypocritical as they possibly can. They can lie, but you'll believe them because there's this aura surrounding an individual, and you can build that up through images, through other means of media. And then finally, the notion that it's all everybody against us. There are enemies all around, and so you have to be as vigilant as possible because there are threats everywhere. Okay? So all of this to create in terms of objectives, a farce. Okay? And how do you create this farce? If you're looking at each of the acronym that's produced here, you use it by creating fake news. Well, here it is. So common tools that are used in propaganda. One is to generate lies, falsehoods, half truths. Many times, and why people oftentimes believe is there's a semblance of truth in what a poster is trying to establish. And so if you have just enough truth to make people feel as if there's a threat or they need to act, then they might actually believe the whole thing. Okay? Secondly, you want to abase the enemy as evil because you're going to try to get them to do things that they normally would not. And if you can somehow demonize the enemy such that they're less than human, then this is one way to get people to act. Thirdly, the use of caricatures will tap into that same concept. Again, your enemies are not human or they're subhuman, some kind of demeaning humor that's there. And again, I realize caricatures is spelled incorrectly to make the acronym happen. Okay. The emotional appeals. Oh, the poor woman, the poor child. Hey, I need to act. You must do something. If you don't, then these poor people will suffer. So the use of emotional appeals is oftentimes very effective to get people to act. Thirdly, in an era of extreme nationalism and patriotism, you can go and tap into that to get people to provide for the state or to act or believe a certain way. The use of evocative visuals. I always, in this day and age, many of the military recruitment commercials of, fighter jets flying in the sky or soldiers moving through with night vision goggles, right? This image of like, wow, take a look at our military, and for people to buy into a notion of strength or will because of the visuals that they see. You could also use witty slogans, oftentimes catchy songs, rhymes, or poetry. And then lastly, coming back to the notion of dehumanizing an enemy, the use of slander and name calling as well. Okay? All of this in the end will help for you to be able to evaluate the farce that is being generated by this fake news. And so in the gallery walks that we're going to produce, you're going to go ahead and do something like this. You're going to observe and be able to examine an image like this, right? So you can see in the image that you have here, Hitler looks like he's all smiles. Hitler looks like he's picking up a child. A lot of Nazis flags here and there. The girl appears to be receptive to Hitler's embrace. and the boy down here look quite determined. So you can go ahead and figure this out even without an interpretation of the labeling that's here. So what you're going to do in this task is you're going to go ahead and first of all find the objectives. In other words, what is this poster trying to get you to believe or do or act? Okay? And so in this case here, you've got the creation of a cult of personality surrounding Adolf Hitler. Okay, and so what tool is utilized to create this? Okay, you're going to use emotion, the emotional appeal of, oh, look at Hitler. It seems like he's a great father. You know, he is something else. He's great with children and so forth. Okay, and then finally, you're going to go ahead and explain how that tool is utilized to meet this objective. The cartoon uses emotional connection that parents might have for their children to create an image of Hitler as a kind father for Germany, and thus this false persona, the creation of a cult of personality by using your emotions to drive that image there. All right, so go ahead and explore the posters that are provided, and remember that as the tools of propaganda demonstrate, a lot of this and most of this is untrue, fake news, half-truths that are there to get a population to believe a certain key item. All right, so that's propaganda posters. Good luck, and hopefully look at this as critically as you possibly can.